February 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं।
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी।
It's 7 a.m. on a Monday morning. You are watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Parmeshwar Bava. We've got an action-packed bulletin lined up for you from news from across the country and around the world. Let's begin with the top stories you need to know. While dense fog, cold wave and snow have gripped several parts of India, Delhi NCR witnesses a break from dense fog this morning. Bihar police detains Jan Suraj founder Prashant Kishor from Patna. Prashant Kishor had started an indefinite hunger strike over the BPSC exams. The Formula E race case probe picks up pace. BRS leader K.T. Rama Rao is likely to appear before the Anti-Corruption Bureau this morning. A massive winter storm blasts parts of the United States. 6 states declare a state of emergency and few areas report the heaviest snowfall in a decade. And the Golden Globes kick off in California, beginning the US award season. Indian hopes rest on All We Imagine Is Light, which is nominated in 2 categories. Well, our top focus, while dense fog, cold wave and snow have actually gripped several parts of India with temperatures in freezing point in some places and visibility dropping to zero in some, Delhi NCR, where foggy conditions had led to major disruptions to air, rail and road traffic movement this week, the situation here has improved slightly this morning. Delhi is witnessing a break from the zero visibility days as seen over the last few days, in fact, the last week. Though flights to and from Srinagar, Patna and Kolkata are being impacted at Delhi airport due to weather conditions in those states. My colleague Shreya has been tracking all the latest developments for us. She joins us over the phone line at the moment. Shreya, while there is improvement in visibility this morning in Delhi NCR, take us through the status of flight and rail disruptions.
Well, of course, today we see much better fog conditions as it was yesterday, although the national capital continues to experience the cold wave. And if we talk about the temperature, it is around 16 degrees Celsius. The humidity is at a high of around 53%, and the wind is blowing gently from the east at 8 km per hour. The visibility is reduced to 600 meters at runway, but currently the flights are under control at the Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi. No delay on landing has been reported yet, although there is a 13-minute average delay on the departure. Right. And if we talk about the AQI has is right now recorded at around 196, which is of course unhealthy, but it has improved from what it was before, essentially because the wind speed has increased, and that is why yesterday we saw the Commission for Equality Management has withdrawn the GRAP compulsory restrictions from yesterday onwards because the pollution levels have improved in the capital and in the surrounding areas. Although we do not see much flight disruptions or train disruptions today, as the air has sort of cleared up. Yet around an hour back, we saw the Delhi airport issuing an advisory stating that flights to and from Srinagar, Patna and Kolkata might get impacted at Delhi airport due to the weather. So it is advisable for people traveling to check their flight status before leaving for the day.
Shreya, as always, thanks so much for joining us with that update. Let's turn our attention now to a significant enhancement to the Delhi NCR connectivity. Believe it or not, now you'll be able to travel from Delhi to Meerut South in just 40 minutes. The Prime Minister inaugurated a 13-kilometer section of the Delhi-Meerut Regional Rapid Transit System corridor that connects Sahibabad in Uttar Pradesh to New Ashok Nagar in Delhi. Just take a look at the details.
In a major boost to connectivity between Delhi and NCR towns in Uttar Pradesh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 13-kilometer long section of the Rapid Rail Transit System or RRTS connecting New Ashok Nagar in Delhi to Sahibabad in Uttar Pradesh. The move promises to reduce travel time significantly, bringing Meerut within reach of the national capital in under 40 minutes. Meerut is 73 kilometers away from Delhi and this cuts down travel time by one-third. As part of the inauguration, the Prime Minister took a ride on the Namo Bharat train from Sahibabad to New Ashok Nagar, interacting with passengers and experiencing the rapid transit system firsthand.
मेट्रो नेटवर्क दोगुने से भी अधिक हो चुका है। आज जनकपुरी और कृष्णा पार्क के लिए भी मेट्रो शुरू हो चुकी है। रिठाला, नरेला, कुंडली कॉरिडोर पर भी काम शुरू हुआ है। ये जो नमो रेल प्रोजेक्ट है, ये भी केंद्र सरकार बना रही है।
The Delhi-Meerut RRTS corridor, an ambitious project worth 30,000 crore, is a game changer for commuters. The fare from New Ashok Nagar to Meerut South is 150 rupees for a standard coach and 225 for a premium coach.
So we are also showing you a demo of the seats here. Now in Delhi Metro, there were parallel seats opposite side of each other. Now this, we can see that this can get reclined, so two people can sit here quite comfortably. Also, there is this charging point, a USB cable point wherein people can charge their mobile phones. Also, we have a space, to keep our luggage. This is one thing that is quite different from the Delhi Metro since the RRTS is entering Delhi NCR for the first time, making this whole journey from the New Ashok Nagar to Meerut South quite comfortable, because we are also seeing that this is one of a kind, quite a revolution in the transportation sector. Also, a new era of transportation can begin from here, because this is like quite a significant step towards making transport not just convenient but also faster and money efficient in a manner where people can have both the experience and also can save a lot of time while traveling through the Namo Bharat RRTS train.
We are going just for the sake of experience to test the speed of the train, and we feel thrilled that these kind of good things are coming to our country, and privileged to be in the capital and traveling by these kind of infrastructures.
We want to make it like Japan. We are experiencing the Japan festival. Equally excited.
Well, this is one good opportunity for us. Like if we talk about like going to Meerut by this local bus or something, it charges like almost like more than this but still I'm getting like less of the time and I'm going there, so that feels really good.
As more sections on the RRTS become operational, this cutting-edge transport network is likely to boost economic opportunities and increase interdependence between Delhi and these NCR towns.
And with more stations expected to open soon, such as Sarai Kale Khan and Jangpura, the RRTS is set to revolutionize the commutes between the Delhi NCR and Meerut South. With camera person Gauri Prasad, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
Well, on to the big story we're tracking. Bihar police has detained Prashant Kishor from the Gandhi statue, the place of fast unto death, at 4 a.m. this morning, and they've taken him to an unknown place in an ambulance. Prashant Kishor has said that he will refuse treatment and will continue his fast unto death. But as per our sources, Mr. Kishore was forcibly taken to AIIMS in an ambulance and has been isolated from everyone. In fact, this video you see on your screens, a large team of Patna police was seen trying to remove Mr. Kishore from the protest site amid chaos, while his fellow protesters held him down. My colleague Manish has been tracking the finer details for us. He joins us live at the moment. Manish, so Prashant Kishore has been detained amid the hunger strike for the BPSC exam cancellation demand?
Yes, of course. Now he has not only been taken to the AIIMS Patna, but you can see that Gandhi Maidan is now out of bounds for even morning walkers. Now the Patna police has completely taken over the Gandhi Maidan. They have removed all his supporters. Of course, their vehicles are still parked inside, but now the administration is also not letting the media go inside this Gandhi Maidan because they are somewhere not taking any chance. They don't want the repeat of dharna without any permission. But of course, the supporters of Prashant Kishore are also, agitating. They have started the agitation outside the AIIMS also. But in view of large number of deployment of police force, it seems that now their entire agitation, their 5 days long agitation, is now going to somewhere, halt. It is going to come to a halt. And of course, now it is to be seen how Prashant Kishore continues his agitation. Of course, he has announced that even though he will be taken to the AIIMS, he is going to be admitted there. He will continue his fast into death.
Thanks so much, as always, Manish, for joining us with the latest details. As my colleague Manish is reporting, the Patna police has taken over the protest site. While supporters of Prashant Kishore are agitating even outside AIIMS, it remains to be seen how they will actually further their cause. We will, of course, get you regular updates from Patna. For now, let's turn our attention back to the National Capital Region. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the much-anticipated Janakpuri West Krishna Park Extension Metro line with a grand rally in Rohini. But the political battle over development in Delhi intensified, with the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP sparring over metro expansion projects. Prime Minister Modi took sharp jabs at the Aam Aadmi Party government. He reiterated his attack at the Aam Aadmi Party government, and former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal hit back, saying that the AAP worked despite atrocities.
A war in Delhi over the national capital's development. Sunday saw AAP convener and former Delhi CM come face to face with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This after PM's third consecutive day of infra push for Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the much-anticipated Janakpuri West Krishna Park Extension Metro line with a grand rally in Rohini. But the event wasn't just about development. It became a platform for political punches.
जिस आपदा सरकार के पास दिल्ली के लिए कोई विजन ना हो, वो दिल्ली के लोगों का विकास नहीं कर सकती। दिल्ली को आधुनिक बनाने के लिए जितने भी काम है, वो केंद्र की भाजपा सरकार ही कर रही है।
आज प्रधानमंत्री जी 38 मिनट बोले और 38 मिनट में से लगभग 29 मिनट वो दिल्ली के लोगों को, दिल्ली की चुनी हुई सरकार को गालियां देके गए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी से लोग उम्मीद करते हैं एक विजन देंगे देश के लिए।
The Prime Minister accused the Delhi government of wasting time fighting with the centre instead of focusing on governance. He cited the Namo Bharat Regional Rapid Transit System and Metro Phase 4 expansions as examples of the centre's commitment to the capital. And the polls round the corner, he raised BJP's Sheesh Mahal jibe too.
जब दिल्ली के लोग कोरोना से जूझ रहे थे, जब दिल्ली के लोग ऑक्सीजन और दवाओं के लिए भटक रहे थे, तब इन लोगों का पूरा फोकस अपना शीश महल बनवाने में था.
The AAP government claims it contributed rupees 7,278 crore to the metro project, while the BJP alleges that most of the credit goes to the centre. For Delhiites, though, the question remains, who really deserves the applause?
अपने ऊपर हुए अत्याचार को अगर हम मुद्दा बना लेते तो आज ये RRTS की लाइन नहीं बनती, RRTS का उद्घाटन नहीं होता केंद्र सरकार और दिल्ली सरकार का. और आज का ये जॉइंट वेंचर का उद्घाटन ये दिखाता है कि जब जब जरूरत पड़ी हम इनके सामने हमने हाथ जोड़े, इनके पैर पकड़े ताकि दिल्ली वालों के काम हो.
The debate over development isn't just about the metro. With the PM laying the foundation for Rithala-Kundli corridor, both parties are fighting for credit over these ambitious infrastructure projects.
The upcoming Delhi Assembly elections is going to be a true litmus test of popularity of two mass leaders, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal. So, of course, the political climate has heated up right ahead of the Delhi Assembly elections, which is scheduled to take place next month.
Well, with that, let's turn our attention now to Telangana, where the Anti-Corruption Bureau has issued a notice to Bharat Rashtra Samiti Working President K.T. Rama Rao, asking him to appear before the investigating officer for questioning today in connection with the ongoing probe into the alleged financial irregularities in the conduct of the Formula E car race in Hyderabad. This is back in February 2024. Sources say the ACB authorities summoned KTR to come to the ACB headquarters at 10 a.m. for questioning him for his role in the alleged transfer of 46 crore rupees to a foreign company for conducting the race in Hyderabad in February last year. Well, in other news, US Ambassador to India Eric Garcetti met Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Vishnu Devsai, during which the duo discussed investment possibilities in defense, logistics and IT sectors in the state. In fact, I must also inform you that an official statement said the Chief Minister and the US Ambassador had an in-depth discussion on promoting investment in the state, cultural aspects and economic possibilities during this meeting. In fact, Mr. Garcetti has also added that Chhattisgarh is a surplus state in power generation and there are immense possibilities of investment in sectors like energy, defense, logistics, IT as well as semiconductors. Now, as always, news and updates continue in a moment. We're slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere.
Kumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
today's interconnected world, India's
Welcome back. A case against 70 school students has been registered after they created a ruckus in a residential area in Haridwar's Ranipur. This is after attending a farewell. Students did dangerous stunts like the one you see playing out on your screens at the moment with cars and also fired in the air. After the video went viral, the cops have registered a case against 70 unknown youths and are investigating the matter as we speak. Well, let's switch tracks now. The 2025 Hollywood Awards season has officially kick-started with the 82nd version of the Golden Globes. The awards ceremony is currently underway at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles, and India is pinning its hopes on Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine As Light. Payal Kapadia is nominated in the Best Director category, and the film is also nominated in the Best Motion Picture in a non-English language category. My colleague Abira has been tracking all that's happening in LA. She joins us live at the moment. Abira, take us through the lowdown.
You know, it's gonna be a big day for us today. We know just Payal Kapadia being nominated as the Best Director for the first time. An Indian has been nominated for Best Director at Golden Globes, and that already she had made history. Now we are just waiting for the announcement. If she wins it, it'll be first for India once again, and it'll be a big one for us. So we are all fingers crossed. We are all hoping that she wins this, since you know, she made a grand premiere at Cannes and winning the Grand Prix award. All We Imagine As Light has been going to different international film festivals. Just not that, has released in India and has been making waves. People have been talking about it. You know, Barack Obama has listed it in one of the must-watch films of 2024. So we are really hoping something positive comes out of this. And other than that, the like you said, the awards have started. It is Golden Globes is kick-starting the awards season, you know, and followed by the Oscars. But here it is. There are a few winners already being announced. Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldana takes home the Golden Globe for Emilia Perez. John Smart wins Best Female Actor in a TV Comedy at the Globes. Karen Culkin wins Golden Globes for Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. So as we talk, the awards are being announced. Some big awards are awaited, and we'll wait and watch what happens.
Abira, thanks so much. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates. Now, as part of the grand preparations for the Mahakumbh, Indian Railways has played a vital role in enhancing the cultural and spiritual image of Prayagraj. In fact, under the Paint My City campaign, all the railway stations of Prayagraj have been transformed into centers of art and culture. The walls of these stations have been painted with grand and attractive artwork depicting Hindu mythology and Indian traditions. My colleague Pallava spoke to an artisan. Listen in.
प्रयागराज शब्द जैसे ही आपकी जुबान पर आएगा, आपके दिमाग में अपने आप एक अध्यात्म की तस्वीर बनने लगेगी। और आप जब महाकुंभ मेले में आएंगे तो आपको इसका दर्शन भी होगा। हम आपको तस्वीर के जरिए दिखाते हैं कि ये देखिए जो मेला का पूरा क्षेत्र है, वहाँ पे किस प्रकार से जो है दीवालों पर जो पुल के पिलर्स हैं, किस तरीके से अध्यात्म का परिचय दिया जा रहा है, किस तरीके से धार्मिक कार्य किए जा रहे हैं और किस प्रकार से भगवान की तस्वीर बनाई जा रही है। कई जगह आपको भगवान की तस्वीर दिखेगी, कई जगह आपको वैदिक की तस्वीर दिखेगी कई दीवारों पर। तो पूरे शहर में आपको विभिन्न प्रकार के और कई थीम्स पर आपको पेंटिंग बनाई गई है। खासकर अगर आप देखें तो ये जो चबूतरा है, इसमें बिहार की जो मधुबनी पेंटिंग का जो है परिचय दिया गया है। तो एक तरीके से पूरे शहर को जो है आध्यात्म के रंग से सराबोर करने की कोशिश जो है की जा रही है। और ये इसके पीछे का जो पूरा माइंडसेट है, कैसे ये पूरा हो रहा है और कितना समय लग रहा है, इस पर बातचीत करने के लिए हमारे साथ आनंद हैं जो इससे जुड़े हैं। आनंद, पहले तो ये बताएं कि ये कितनी थीम्स है जिसका ये निर्माण किया जा रहा है, बनाई जा रही है, कहाँ पे ये हो रहा है और कितने लोग लगे हैं आप लोगों के साथ इसको पूरा बनाने में?
जी सबसे पहले सभी का प्रयागराज में स्वागत है। लगभग 49 थीम्स हमको मेला प्राधिकरण से दिया गया है। और बात करें कलाकार की तो 1500 से अधिक कलाकार सभी यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं और पूरे प्रयागराज में ये काम चल रहा है। और ख़ासकर इसमें भारत के लगभग सभी राज्यों से कलाकार यहाँ अपना प्रदर्शन दे रहे हैं। और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि अब जैसे आप पिलर्स देख रहे हैं, हाइट ज़्यादा है और यहाँ पर डेड फेस ऐसे भी हैं कि जहाँ पर ड्राइंग करने से वो एरिया एकदम न्यू लुक में आपको दिखेगा।
With that, let's get you a quick update from the United States, where millions of Americans are in the grips of a huge winter storm that could bring the heaviest snowfall and coldest temperatures in over a decade. Thousands of flights are delayed or cancelled in the US, with St. Louis, Missouri the worst hit airport. In fact, a polar vortex has brought frigid weather down from the Arctic with extreme weather conditions accompanying it. Now, Kansas and Missouri are under blizzard warnings with whiteout conditions forecast, and a state of emergency has been declared in the states of Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Meanwhile, the fourth anniversary of the January 6th attack on the US Capitol has a new focus as lawmakers brace for the prospect that Donald Trump may soon pardon many of the more than 1,500 people charged with crimes for their actions related to that riot. Trump said he would issue pardons to rioters on day one of his presidency, which begins on the 20th of this month. Most likely, he'll do it very quickly, he said. On a recent episode on NBC, he added that those people have suffered long and hard. And to quote him, he further added, there may be some exceptions to it. I have to look, but you know, if somebody was radical, crazy. Well, as the temperatures dip and fog engulfs the national capital region and many parts of India, NDTV and Uday Foundation's blanket donation drive, well, 60,000 blankets are needed to help save lives and keep those less fortunate warm during these harsh winters. The blankets can be dropped off at this location on your screen. Bring your blanket donations to Uday Foundation in New Delhi to Sarvodaya Enclave on the address mentioned on your screens with the relevant phone numbers. Well, the top international headlines are lined up for you in a moment, right after this very short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror Shadow, Visa Wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
You are watching The World 24/7 on the NDTV network. I'm Parmeshwar Bava. Let's begin with the headlines we're tracking at the moment. More than 60 million Americans are under winter weather alerts as a huge winter storm is forecast to bring the heaviest snowfall and coldest temperatures in over a decade. As per reports, US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is expected to include discussions with Indian counterparts about the impact of Chinese dams during his touchdown in India. Ukraine renewed its offensive in Russia's Kursk region as Ukraine tries to hold territory there ahead of US President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Canada has temporarily halted accepting new applications for parent and grandparent permanent residency sponsorships to focus on clearing the backlog of existing cases, according to a directive issued by the Immigration Minister. Elon Musk has said Nigel Farage should quit as the leader of Britain's right-wing Reform UK party in an abrupt withdrawal of support by the US billionaire for the Brexit campaigner, who is trying to shake up the British political establishment again. Well, our big focus, millions of Americans are in the grips of a huge winter storm that could bring the heaviest snowfall and coldest temperatures in over a decade. Thousands of flights are delayed or cancelled in the US as we speak, with St. Louis and Missouri the worst hit airport. In fact, I must inform you that this polar vortex has brought frigid weather down from the Arctic, with extreme weather conditions accompanying it. Kansas and Missouri are under blizzard warnings with whiteout conditions forecast, and a state of emergency has been imposed meanwhile in the states of Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Well, for further clarity, we have with us live from Washington, D.C. at the moment, Ray Locker joining us. Ray, thanks so much as always for making time for us. How severe is this storm compared to recent winter weather events, and what areas are expected to be the most impacted?
Well, it's mostly hitting the Great Plains states, moving eastward and kind of this belt along the lower Midwest, northern and southern states. I include District of Columbia and Northern Virginia in that. These are areas that get some snow, but not a lot of snow, and not usually in this amount.
Ray, from businesses to schools to local economies, what kind of short-term economic impacts might this storm have, especially in the states that you're mentioning are most affected?
Well, it's going to knock out a lot of air travel for at least a day. It depends on how well the airports are able to clear the snow from their runways and handle any kind of navigational issues. I mean, people will probably miss a day of school and they'll probably get back to school on Tuesday. Overall, not a huge deal, but it causes a lot of chaos, particularly in places like Washington that don't normally get a lot of snow.
Right, and after the storm, what does the rest of the winter look like for the United States? Is there any indication that more intense weather events like this could occur again soon?
Well, I mean, I think most projections have been that it's not going to be a heavy snow winter. I mean, my neighborhood here, we're not really looking at a lot of snow in the forecast, but we're trying to be prepared because, we have to pay for snow clearance and on our streets in the community I live in. Elsewhere, I know the city is being fairly well prepared. I went out for a walk earlier today and there was salt on many of the sidewalks around the city. So, people were prepared as well as they can be. It's always funny in Washington because you have people from all over the country who live here, and a lot of them from like places like Minnesota or New York or Wisconsin always laugh at how Washingtonians deal with an impending snowstorm, whether it's 1 inch or 6 inches. So earlier at grocery stores, you had a lot of people buying food as if they don't have any food at their homes right now.
Ray, as always, thanks so much for joining us with a ground update. I must inform our viewers here that a state of emergency has been declared in the states of Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri as we speak. Meanwhile, the other big story we're tracking, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is expected to include discussions with Indian counterparts about the impact of Chinese dams while he's in India. Reports further add that Washington will discuss New Delhi's concerns during this visit, and the Indian government has said that it has conveyed its concerns to Beijing about China's plan to build this hydropower dam in Tibet on the Yarlung-Zangbo River, which flows into India. Chinese officials on record have said that hydropower projects in Tibet will not have a major impact on the environment or on downstream water supplies. This is what China maintains. My colleague Vishnu Shom has been tracking the finer details very closely. He joins us over the phone line at the moment. Vishnu, reports state that Jake Sullivan is expected to discuss Chinese dams during his touchdown here. Take us through what we know about his plan of action.
I'm not sure that's going to be a priority at all in these talks. This is just a visit which concludes what has been a very active period of engagement between the United States and India. Jake Sullivan, as the National Security Advisor of the United States, is somebody who has been a key part of that. He'll be meeting the External Affairs Minister and the National Security Advisor. They'll be talking about semiconductors. That's part of the ISET process between India and the United States. They're also likely to perhaps bring up the entire issue of the supply of General Electric jet engines for India's Tejas fighters. That's been a process that's been delayed, the provision of these engines and the manufacture of these engines in India as well. But it's been he's been a very welcome guest in India. He's had excellent engagements at the strategic level with the National Security Advisor. And remember that President Donald Trump becomes president or sworn in as president for the second time on the 20th of this month. So it's essentially a farewell sort of visit across the region that he's doing. He'll also be speaking to IIT students today, shortly after 2 p.m., where he'll be talking about the prospects of the India-US relationship. But this is a farewell visit in a sense. Don't expect anything major. Whether or not he meets the Prime Minister or not is yet to be seen.
As always, for joining us with the latest update. Whether or not Jake Sullivan meets Prime Minister Modi is yet to be seen while he's in India. Meanwhile, let's switch our attention to what's happening as far as the Russia-Ukraine war is concerned. Kyiv has renewed its offensive in Russia's Kursk region as Ukraine tries to hold territory there ahead of US President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, since Ukraine's initial incursion into Kursk in August, the first invasion of Russia since World War II, Moscow has actually regained much of its lost territory. Trump, meanwhile, has vowed to end the war, and a stronger position on the battlefield could give Kyiv a better position in any future negotiations with Russia. This is what Ukraine President Zelensky described it as a very strong trump card. Meanwhile, Russia has declared a state of emergency in Crimea after an oil spill in the Black Sea last month. The spill, caused by a storm hitting 2 oil tankers on the 15th of December, led to contamination in the Kerch Strait area. Authorities say new traces of pollution needed urgent cleanup, and over 86,000 tons of contaminated sand and soil have been cleared so far by more than 10,000 workers. This cleanup effort that you see on your screens is focused around Anapa, a popular resort town, and environmental groups report the spill has caused the deaths of dolphins and seabirds, amongst other marine life. But with that, let's turn our attention now to Canada, which has temporarily halted accepting new applications for parent and grandparent permanent residency sponsorships to focus on clearing the backlog of existing cases. This is according to a directive issued by the Immigration Minister, Mela. The directive, which was published in the Canada Gazette, reaffirms the government's commitment to family reunification, but it prioritizes processing applications submitted last year. Mr. Mela noted that this decision aligns with the government's broader immigration goals, as we have been extensively covering on NDTV as well. And to streamline operations, other immigration streams have also seen new sponsorships paused. As part of its immigration levels plan, which actually targets a reduced overall intake over the next 3 years, the Canadian government aims to admit up to 15,000 applications submitted through the Family Reunification Program this year. Maha Siddiqui has been tracking all the details very finely. The Immigration Minister has said a number of sponsorships will be reduced this year. Maha joins us with the lowdown.
The issue of immigration remains a contentious and an evolving one in Canada. This time, the federal agency, the IRCC, has decided to reduce the number of immigrants by pausing the parents and the grandparents sponsorship program, which means that no fresh applications will be invited for 2025 and only applications from last year will be processed, and that has been capped at 15,000. This program has been fraught with problems for the last couple of years, largely because of the backlog. By the end of 2023, there were about 40,000 applications in the pipeline, and last year, the IRCC invited 37,500 from those applications and finally will be processing only about 20,500. What is this program then, and how does it work? This program falls under the Family Reunification, wherein citizens and PRs can sponsor their parents and grandparents to become permanent residents of Canada. This is done by a lottery system, which means that applications are randomly selected. And the entire process takes about 24 months, which is 2 years. Let's look at this problem now, or rather this issue, in the larger context of immigration and this policy in Canada, one of the rallying points against the Liberal Trudeau government. So because of the negative sentiment that emerged against immigration for the first time in 5 decades in Canada, the Trudeau government decided to tweak the projected numbers, which have been reduced from the earlier projection of 500,000 PRs for 2025 and 2026 by 21% in 2025, that is reduced to 395,000, and for 2026 the reduction will be about 24% to 380,000 applications. And especially ahead of the elections, since this issue remains a contentious one for the government wants to be seen as doing something about their immigration policy.
To the other big story we're tracking, the number of people with flu in hospital in England has quadrupled over the past month and is rising at a very concerning rate. This is what the NHS chiefs have warned. Latest data, in fact, shows that there were 5,000 patients with the virus being treated in hospital at the end of last week. That's almost 3.5 times higher than the same week in 2023, although not as high as in 2022. But the head of the Royal College of Emergency Medicine has said on record that pressure on hospitals is unacceptably awful in the UK, and the flu is pushing them to a breaking point. Meanwhile, the amount of acute respiratory illness causing Americans to seek healthcare is at a high level, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In an update issued just on Friday last week, the CDC announced that in addition to COVID-19 activity increasing from low levels in most areas across the US, seasonal influenza activity continues to increase and is elevated across most of the country. Meanwhile, Elon Musk has said Nigel Farage should quit as the leader of Britain's right-wing Reform UK party. This is in an abrupt withdrawal of support by the US billionaire for the Brexit campaigner, who is trying to shake up the British political establishment again. The Reform Party needs a new leader. Farage doesn't have what it takes, is what Musk has said on his social media platform X, just a few hours after Farage described him as a friend who made Reform look cool. Meanwhile, as per reports, Italy is in advanced talks with Elon Musk's SpaceX for a deal to provide secure telecommunications for the nation's government. The largest such project in Europe is what our sources have informed us. Discussions are ongoing and a final agreement on the 5-year contract hasn't been reached, is what reports add. But people who are familiar with the matter have been in touch about confidential discussions, and the project has already been approved by Italy's intelligence service as well as Italy's defense ministry, is what reports state at the moment. Well, news and updates continue in a moment, right here on NDTV. Stepping into a very short break for now.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Kumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spirit.
Well, India is all set to launch a massive American communication satellite that would allow making phone calls using direct connectivity from space. This is the first time an American company is launching a massive communication satellite from India in a dedicated launch on an Indian rocket. Till date, India has only launched small satellites made by American entities, but this is a highly innovative and a more modern approach to satellite telephony than the existing services. Our science editor Pallav Bagla has the lowdown for you.
In a big move which shows the growing Indo-American relations, the Indian Space Research Organization's commercial arm, New Space India Limited, has backed a contract to launch a big American communication satellite using India's Bahubali rocket or the launch vehicle Mark III. This is the first time that a big American communication satellite will be launched on a dedicated mission on an Indian rocket. Till date, India has launched several small American company satellites, but not a big dedicated commercial launch. The satellite itself, named Bluebird, is unique. It is over 6 tons in weight, and it will be launched in February-March 2025. The Bluebird satellite and its constellation has been made by AST Space Mobile, a Texas-based telecom company and satellite service provider. They offer what is called a direct-to mobile connection. So using satellites and their services, one can use ordinary cellular phones or mobile phones to connect and speak anywhere.
Meanwhile, the fourth anniversary of the January 6th attack on the US Capitol has a new focus as lawmakers brace for the prospect that President-elect Donald Trump may soon pardon many of the more than 1,500 people charged with crimes for their actions related to the riot. Here are the details for you.
Four years ago, a mob of thousands stormed the U.S. Capitol, attempting to halt the peaceful transfer of power after Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. The insurrection shook the nation, upending a long-held tradition of certifying presidential elections. Fueled by Donald Trump's false claims of a stolen election, his supporters clashed with police and violently breached the Capitol, aiming to disrupt the certification of Biden's win. Since then, more than 1,500 have been charged. The FBI's investigation continues with as many as 30 arrests made each month as they track down those responsible. Trump, already preparing for his inauguration, has pledged to grant pardons to those involved in the riots on his first day in office. As the nation braces for President-elect Donald Trump to officially take office, D.C. law enforcement has ramped up security. However, they say there are no credible threats surrounding upcoming events, including certifying the 2024 election. Meanwhile, as Congress prepares to certify Trump's election win, the memory of January 6th has faded for some. For others, it remains a dark stain on American democracy. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
And as Donald Trump prepares for his inauguration, some of the legal cases that spilled out of Mr. Trump's first presidency will follow him into the second. Mr. Trump has signaled he plans to fight to postpone the scheduled sentencing for his criminal conviction set by Justice Juan Merchan of the New York Supreme Court for Friday. In social media posts this weekend, Mr. Trump railed against the justice, saying that he should be disbarred. Here are the finer details.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
Donald Trump's criminal cases may be fading, but the legal battles are far from over. As the president-elect prepares to take the oath of office on January 20th, numerous lawsuits still threaten to cost him hundreds of millions of dollars. Just a year ago, Trump faced the weight of 4 criminal trials and massive civil penalties. But his stunning election victory on November 5th has changed the political landscape in the United States. Federal prosecutions have been dropped due to a Justice Department opinion shielding sitting presidents from prosecution. Meanwhile, appeals courts could scale back hefty civil judgments against him. But not all his legal troubles have evaporated. In New York, Trump's hush money case still lingers. Convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records last year, Trump will be sentenced just 10 days before his inauguration. However, Judge Merchan has ruled the president-elect will not face incarceration, citing impending presidential immunity. In Georgia, the election interference case hangs in limbo. Allegations of conflict of interest have stalled proceedings. Even if the case proceeds, Trump's presidential status ensures no trial during his term. One of the most significant financial threats to the president-elect stems from a $350 million fraud judgment issued February last year by a New York court. The verdict found Trump and his company guilty of years of fraudulent practices. With accrued interest, the judgment now exceeds $500 million, nearly $489 million of which falls directly on Trump. His lawyers are appealing, and judges have hinted the penalty might be excessive. E. Jean Carroll's defamation verdicts against Trump total $87 million. Trump's appeals remain ongoing, but he argues presidential immunity should shield him from liability. Trump also faces 8 civil lawsuits related to the January 6th Capitol riot. His team insists presidential immunity protects him, with a ruling expected by summer. Donald Trump faces another lawsuit that his presidency is unlikely to influence. A defamation case brought by the exonerated Five, formerly known as the Central Park Five. Trump argues his comments were political speech and seeks dismissal. The exonerated Five have asked the court to reject Trump's motion to dismiss the suit. As Donald Trump prepares to return to the Oval Office, his legal battles could shape his presidency. The question remains, can he lead while still facing mounting legal perils? With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report for NDTV World.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump announced key appointments to his White House team ahead of his inauguration on the 20th of this month. Stanley E. Woodward will serve as assistant to the president and senior counselor, while Robert Gabriel Jr. returns as assistant to the president for policy. Nicholas Luna will take on the role of deputy chief of staff for strategic implementation, and William Bo Harrison will return as deputy chief of staff for operations. And finally, the 2025 Hollywood Awards season officially kick-started with the 82nd version of the Golden Globes. The award ceremony is currently underway at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles, and Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine Is Light has actually lost the Best Foreign Language Film Award to Emilia Perez. It's a bit of a heartbreak right now, but we still have our fingers crossed for the other nomination. But Abira joins us with the latest update at the moment. Abira, take us to what's happening in LA, the winners and the losers at the Golden Globe so far.
The sad part is that, Payal Kapadia's film, All We Imagine As Light, has lost to Emilia Perez for the best non-English language film. But we are hoping that she gets the Best Director award. If that happens, she will be making history, because even no Indian director has been nominated for Golden Globes before this. So that will be a big one for India. But other than that, Nikki Glaser has been hosting the Golden Globes this year, and she has been making everybody laugh in that room, and everybody is really enjoying her. I'll give you the big awards that have been announced. The Best Supporting Actress has gone to Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez had the most number of nominations this year for Golden Globes. So there's no surprise there. We had Kieran Culkin wins Golden Globes for Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role. We had The Bear. Jeremy Allen White takes home the Best Male Actor in a TV Show. Ellie Wong has won the award for the Best Performance in a Stand-Up Comedy on Television for Single Lady. And Emilia Perez, of course, takes home the Best Non-English Language Film. And right now, as we talk, this award was announced. Colin Farrell has won the award for Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Limited Series, The Penguin. So these are the few big awards that have been announced. We are still waiting for the bigger awards to be announced by the end of the award show, and this is kicking off the award season with Golden Globes.
Got my fingers crossed for Payal Kapadia. Thanks so much, Abira, as always, for joining us with that update. Thank you for investing your time in watching this edition of The World 24/7. As always, we'll keep tracking the latest for you. Do stay tuned.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts.
Good morning, welcome to Breakfast Show. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy joining you from Mumbai studios. We also have Divya Vadwa joining us from Delhi. Divya, from winter pollution woes in Delhi as well as Mumbai to Golden Globe Awards and Aam Aadmi Party versus BJP in the national capital. We have a lot coming up on the show.
That's right, the Golden Globes are underway, and it is, of course, the Indian entry. When we're talking about the Golden Globes entry, well, it was that very film that was nominated in 2 categories. However, from what we're hearing now, as far as Payal Kapadia is concerned, the best foreign film has now gone to Emilia Perez, and it is Payal Kapadia who's lost out in that category. But there's still hope. In fact, let's not lose hope when it comes to the best director. So that is the nomination category that still has to be announced. We'll get you all the details first. Let's get you the headlines. And let's just get you a check on the fog conditions in the national capital. And the fog conditions have taken a break as far as the Delhi NCR region is concerned. However, rain is expected, and that's going to have a trickling impact, which basically means that fog conditions will be back with a banger tomorrow. But in Mumbai, it is where, in fact, the pollution has taken it has been impacted severely.
That's right, Mumbai's winter pollution challenge. In fact, Mumbai's air turns toxic. Several areas are dealing with air quality issues. Poor category is what we are witnessing in the city of Mumbai in multiple areas.
And the Bihar police has gone ahead and taken Prashant Kishor. They have detained him from Patna. He had started an indefinite hunger strike from the 2nd of January over BPSC exams there in solidarity with the protesting students. And there you can see visuals on your screen of Prashant Kishor being detained.
And Formula E race case probe picks up pace. BRS leader KTR is likely to appear before the Anti-Corruption Bureau today.
And it's getting very cold across the world. In fact, not just here in India, but we can see, as far as the United States is concerned, a massive winter storm that has blasted parts of the United States. 6 states have declared a state of emergency. Few areas have recorded the heaviest snowfall in a matter of a decade.
And it is 82nd Golden Globe Awards that's underway now. Payal Kapadia unfortunately loses award, but certainly wins hearts. And Emilia Perez wins the best foreign film. Let's start with pollution woes, Divya. While dense fog, cold wave and snow have gripped several parts of India, with temperatures in freezing point in some places and visibility dropping to almost zero in several others, including Delhi NCR, where foggy conditions led to major disruptions to air travel and road traffic movement this week. In fact, the situation, we believe, has improved slightly this morning, Divya. Take us through what the situation is in the national capital.
That's right, Radhika. A breather here as far as Delhi is concerned in terms of the pollution, as well as in terms of at least the fog conditions for this morning. So Delhi, that witnessed a break as far as that zero visibility is concerned. But what we really are expecting is that it will rain today, which basically means there will be added moisture, which basically means that fog conditions will be back with a bang. And flights have been impacted. We're talking about flights coming in to Delhi from Srinagar, from Patna and Kolkata. They've been impacted at the Delhi airport due to the weather conditions in those states. We're talking about cold day and dense fog conditions that are prevailing in the state of Bihar. Let's go across to our colleague Shreya, who's joining us. Shreya, take us through the situation on the ground. That is, of course, visibly better this morning. It's not even feeling as cold as it usually does. And that is, of course, that impact of the western disturbance that's going to bring in heavy snowfall. That in turn is going to see rain coming in as far as Delhi and the adjoining areas are concerned. Shreya joining us from the India Gate, getting us details of the weather situation on the ground and visibility levels that have, improved this morning as far as the NCR region is concerned, Delhi and adjoining areas. Shreya, take us through the situation on the ground this morning. But from what we are hearing is that this is just very short-lived as far as that breather is concerned, from visibility levels being impacted. By tomorrow, dense fog conditions are expected to be back in the national capital.
Yeah. Woke up to a shivering morning. The temperature dipped to 11 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature will be around 18 degrees Celsius. The weather office has predicted light rainfall, light to moderate rainfall, and not only in Delhi but also in the neighboring states, be it Uttar Pradesh, Delhi. We will see rainfall today that will further intensify the cold wave conditions. But if we talk about the visibility, of course, today we saw layer of fog early in the morning, but the sky has cleared up. It will going to be a cloudy sky today, and as rainfall is expected, but the visibility recorded is much better. It has improved drastically from what it was in the last couple of days. The runway recorded around the visibility of around 600 meters. Therefore, flight disruptions did not take place as much, although flights from Kolkata, Patna, Srinagar flying to Delhi airport have been affected. The low visibility procedures are underway in the Delhi airport, but no flights have been cancelled. The departure has been delayed by 13 minutes, but no major flight or train disruptions because the sky is clearer as the visibility has improved, but the air quality definitely it has again gone down to very poor category. The AQI is recorded at 377, although yesterday we saw the Commission for Air Quality Management withdrawing the GRAP 3 restrictions. So classes will be held, physically. The construction work, demolition work will resume from today onwards. But the air quality continues to be in the very poor category because of the weak wind speed. But after rainfall, I'm sure the pollution level will also improve. The pollution will reduce. But the cold wave conditions will further intensify. We know across national capital, around 250 tents, pagoda tents have been set up for the homeless population. We know they are the most vulnerable to the biting cold, and this is a reminder for people to sort of donate clothes or food for the homeless who are put up in these shelter homes, the night shelters. And remember that no ID proof or Aadhaar card is mandatory to access these night shelters. Any homeless person can access it. But of course today rainfall is expected, and that will definitely further increase the cold wave conditions.
Right, thank you so much, Shreya, for joining us. And cold wave conditions are expected to be back. Of course, when we talk about the minimum temperature coming in at 11, Radhika, that is about 4 degrees more than it should be for this point in time. So it's not as cold as it should be. Of course, fog conditions have taken a back seat, but all that is expected to make a comeback. Let's also talk about Mumbai's air quality that's taken a downturn once again after that brief period of marginal improvement. We're talking about several parts of the city reporting poor air quality as far as the data from the Central Pollution Control Bureau is concerned. We're talking about the CPCB, the Central Pollution Control Board, showing that Mumbai's overall AQI is coming in at 148 as of Sunday. That's categorized as a moderate category as far as pollution levels are concerned, Radhika. That's right. In most areas, it's moderate air quality, but there are specific areas, Divya, which are recording significantly higher levels of pollution. That includes Chembur with AQI at 246, BKC, where I'm sitting at this point at 223, Shivaji Nagar 213, Ghatkopar 212, Baikala at 210. So yes, so we are talking about moderate to poor air quality as far as the city of Mumbai is concerned. It has significantly improved. It was poor for quite some time. The government here, in fact, the BMC had also put a stay on construction activity as well last month. Let's go straight across to Anuj on this, who's joining us from the city of Mumbai. Anuj, take us through the situation now. Of course, there's intermittent, air quality, poor, categorization that we're seeing at this point. We're talking about 200 to 250. But what is the situation at this point? How bad is the air quality at the moment?
Mumbai is stressed with air quality has been very interesting in last few days. We see that in the entirety of November and December, the air quality was terrible, and that led to not just the BMC but also the judiciary to intervene and come down very heavily on different organizations, including the Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. Now, we saw that since the beginning of the new year, the temperature here has increased a bit, right? The cold winter that the Mumbai experiences by its own self has gone down, and that led to clear skies in the first few days of the new year. But in the last couple of days, we're seeing that a cover or a layer of smog has returned back to the city, and that is attributed to multiple factors. Now, when there was, active smog here in the city, we saw that the BMC put down some really important and grab for measures and important guidelines, especially in places like Baikala, Borivali, Chembur, Ghatkopar, Manpur, Chivajinagar. All of the places that you mentioned are recording higher AQIs, especially yesterday. Construction activities were kept a very close watch here. Besides that, all those companies which would have violated the norms set by the NPCB and the BMC were sent a show cause notice immediately, considering that the intervention of the judiciary played a very crucial role in that. Now, yesterday it was 148, which, although as far as number is concerned, is in moderate category, but we also need to understand that Mumbai's geography suggests that different places will experience different kinds of pollution, which is why when you look at the suburbs, especially in the northern regions and the eastern regions, they usually record higher amount of pollution levels, whereas it is the other places, when you talk about the southern or the central parts of the city, that is where the pollution is rather less. But today, when Mumbai woke up, of course, it's been, the pollution again is in the moderate category. The AQI stands at 138, with again the usual suspects, that is the Chembur and Ghatkopar region, recording a higher amount of AQI level. We're also expecting the authorities to meet and put forth, a plan in place, especially for the next couple of months, considering that the winters will be withdrawing from the city and from the state, and that would also be, a sign for the pollution to decrease and for situation to become slightly better here in the coastal city.
Right. Thank you so much, Arush, for joining us with those details. Moving on now to, let's get you news coming in from the national capital, and it's Prime Minister Modi who on Sunday inaugurated the Delhi section of the Rapid Rail Transit System, the RRTS. This is a 13 kilometer to be precise section of the Delhi Meerut Regional Rapid Transit System from Sahibabad in Uttar Pradesh to New Ashok Nagar here in the national capital. And now, Radhika, that is operational. Certainly a huge infrastructure boost as far as the national capital and UP is concerned. With this Namo Bharat corridor will now stretch over 55 kilometers with 11 stations between New Ashok Nagar in Delhi and Meerut South. So now commuters can travel from New Ashok Nagar to Meerut South in just about 40 minutes. Let's get you this report.
In a major boost to connectivity between Delhi and NCR towns in Uttar Pradesh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the 13-kilometer long section of the Rapid Rail Transit System or RRTS connecting New Ashok Nagar in Delhi to Sahibabad in Uttar Pradesh. The move promises to reduce travel time significantly, bringing Meerut within reach of the national capital in under 40 minutes. Meerut is 73 kilometers away from Delhi, and this cuts down travel time by 1/3. As part of the inauguration, the Prime Minister took a ride on the Namo Bharat train from Sahibabad to New Ashok Nagar, interacting with passengers and experiencing the rapid transit system firsthand.
मेट्रो नेटवर्क दोगुने से भी अधिक हो चुका है। आज जनकपुरी और कृष्णा पार्क के लिए भी मेट्रो शुरू हो चुकी है। रिठाला, नरेला, कुंडली कॉरिडोर पर भी काम शुरू हुआ है। ये जो नमो रेल प्रोजेक्ट है, ये भी केंद्र सरकार बना रही है।
The Delhi-Meerut RRTS corridor, an ambitious project worth 30,000 crore, is a game changer for commuters. The fare from New Ashok Nagar to Meerut South is 150 rupees for a standard coach and 225 for a premium coach.
So we are also showing you a demo of the seats here. Now in Delhi Metro, there were parallel seats opposite side of each other. Now this, we can see that this can get reclined, so two people can sit here quite comfortably. Also, there is this charging point, a USB cable point wherein people can charge their mobile phones. Also, we have a space, to keep our luggage. This is one thing that is quite different from the Delhi Metro, since the RRTS is entering Delhi NCR for the first time, making this whole journey from the New Ashok Nagar to Meerut South quite comfortable, because we are also seeing that this is one of a kind, quite a revolution in the transportation sector. Also, a